And Angels playing game 2 of this 4-game series this week. The Freeway Series continues, and we say welcome inside. Joe Davis, Earl Hershiser, Alana Rizzo joins us in just a moment. And John said it, you lose last night, but they've still won 16 of 18, and an opportunity tonight to start a new streak.
Last night the pitching was solid, but they got to get their hitting shoes back on. 0 for 7 with runners in scoring position and no home runs. That is an oddity.
Let's preview this pitching. Kenta Maeda goes for the Dodgers. He's been back and forth lately between the rotation and the bullpen, and they like what he's done as far as bringing some of that aggressiveness from the pen into his starts.
Yeah, 3 days rest coming off the bullpen outing against Colorado, but you go back to his last start against Cincinnati and he was nails. 5 innings pitched. He'd like to go deeper. That was 104 pitches, so he wants to go 6 or 7 tonight. But the slider has returned. It is the killer slider. The batting average against is better, and June has been a good month.
With that, let's go down to Alana.
All right, Joe, thanks very much. Trace Thompson getting his first start since being recalled from AAA Oklahoma City yesterday. He's in right field. Reason being, Yasiel Puig still dealing with the hamstring issue, but also dealing with a knee issue in which it hurts him when he decelerates. Dave Roberts says that he is available to come off the bench, but they would like to stay away from him. Same could be said for Corey Seager, also dealing with a hamstring injury. Suffered on a swing. He did swing the bat today, but they are going to have to make a decision soon as to whether or not it is a DL situation. As far as Justin Turner at third, just getting the night off.
All right, Alana, Dodgers trying to even this series up at a game apiece, trying to get their 17th win out of their last 19 games. It's the Dodgers and the Angels, and it's next from Dodger Stadium. Blue skies for game 2 of this series and game 9 and the final game of this homestand, where the Dodgers have gone 7-1 and sit in first place in the National League West. Here comes Austin Barnes. He'll make the start behind the plate tonight. Before he does that, he'll make her night.
I'm Austin, okay? All right. Okay?
Thank you so much.
Dodgers 51-27. The Angels, on the other hand, have won 3 in a row. They're 41-39. And here's their starting lineup. Eric Young Jr. bats leadoff and plays center. Cameron Maben getting the night off. And right field, Cole Calhoun. Then it's Yunel Escobar. Luis Valbuena bats cleanup. That means no Albert Pujols tonight. Andrelton Simmons at short. Ben Revere is in left. Last night, Martin Maldonado homered. Tonight, he catches and bats 7th. And Cliff Pennington and the former Dodger, Jesse Chavez, against Kenta Maeda, who, over his last 4 outings, Orel, has been really good. That's the start. Couple of relief appearances, and they've liked the way that he's channeled what he's learned from coming out of the pen into his starts.
Yeah, the priority now for Kenta is location. He's not a thrower. And then after that location, add commitment. And then put a dose of aggressiveness in there. The aggressiveness that he learned, that he had that gear coming out of the bullpen. No longer does he think about, what am I going to be like to get to 6th or get to 7th inning? He's about getting people out right now and then moving forward down the order. And you know what? He's been really good against righties here in June. And he's going to face a right-hander from the 3-hole down to the 9-hole.
Closed captioning tonight brought to you by Wiener Schnitzel. Very quietly, this Angels team is making some noise in the American League. Last 3 road series for them. They took 2 of 3 from Houston. They took 2 of 3 from the Yankees. They took 2 of 3 from the Red Sox. All 3 of those teams were in first place at the time those series began. And now trying to technically sweep the Dodgers. This is considered a different series than the next 2 nights, which will be down in Anaheim. So we've got you up to speed and ready to go for this one. Dodgers and Angels on a gorgeous night. '29-year-old from Japan comes home, and off we go with strike 1. Perfect relief inning Friday against Colorado, and his last start at Cincinnati last Sunday, 1 run over 5 innings. 1 ball and 1 strike.
These Angels are tied with a few other teams for the longest current winning streak in the big leagues, which is 3 in a row. Dodgers had theirs snapped yesterday by the Angels, and that was 10, and that's the longest in the National League this year.
Young starts the game with a base hit into center.
One of the reasons these Angels have continued to win without Mike Trout in the lineup, Eric Young, a veteran, finding himself as a hot hand for the Angels and able to hit all over the order.
The Angels a game above 500 without Mike Trout, exactly what they were with Mike Trout. Here's Cole Calhoun. That said, of course, they can't wait to get the MVP back. He's been taking some swings, but still several steps in the progression before he's ready. And he stated his goal is around the All-Star game, but I'd be surprised if he came back before then. It's not too far off.
It sure isn't. And we need the Dodger fans and the Corey Seager fans and the Justin Turner fans to vote. Cody Bellinger fans. Voting ends Thursday.
Game's 2 weeks from tonight.
The best team in the National League does not have a starter right now because the voting has not gone their way. It's crazy when you think maybe 5 or 6 Dodgers belong on that team. Some you can't vote on, like Clayton Kershaw or Kenley Jansen or Alex Wood.
Quickly, 0-2 on Calhoun. Kershaw will start on Thursday night. Final game of this, well, technically again, final game of the next series. The final of the 4 between the teams this week.
I can guarantee you the players don't see the divide between the home and away when it's back-to-back like this.
No.
They're looking at this 4-game series against the Angels as the Dodgers feel like they still have an opportunity to win 3 and win the series.
Runner takes off. Barnes throw down off a bounce, still gets him. They will take a look. Eric Young's pretty confident he was in safe.
Sometimes the runner thinks he's there, but with a pop-up slide, you haven't reached the base yet because you start to elevate thinking you're there. Ooh, he might have got in on this one. This will be a tight look right here. Boy, he's safe. See if Kike keeps the tag on him continually. And does the foot come off? It does not. Boy, that's a lot of pressure on an ankle to keep that foot on the bag. You're going to let it go. What? Maybe it brushed him from the other angle. I didn't see it. It looked like to me that he might have made it. Maybe they're just thinking not enough evidence to get it overturned. The call's going to stand because he was called out. And you see that an awful lot.
So Barnes wipes Young off of the bases. And Maeda to Calhoun, 1-2. Just off of the plate, 2-2. Angels steal more bases than anybody in baseball. They're also caught as frequently as anybody in baseball. Full count. Some of Mike Scioscia's better teams have had that personality. He loves to roll the dice and put the pressure on the other team. And this roster is set up to be able to do that with Young and with Maben. Ben Revere's in there tonight. One thing Mike Trout is underrated for when he's healthy is his speed. Stroked in the air to center, but playable for Jock Peterson. 2 out.
Baseman number 0, Yunel Escobar.
Yunel Escobar starting in the 3 spot today.
Now Kenta gets a series of 7 right-handed hitters in a row at this portion of the order, so he has been very good against righties here in June as he has gotten hot. Against his slider in June, right-handers are only hitting 125. When he was struggling, they were hitting about 255.
A fastball painted for strike 1, and it's that slider that you talk about that has the Dodgers feeling like this is a really good matchup for Maeda. Slider's been working for him, and the Angels are one of the worst slider hitting teams in baseball. Back-to-back fastballs, it's 1-1.
Ricky Nolasco had a very good one that held the Dodgers at bay last night.
There's the slider, 1-2.
And a weak swing to top it off. He's completely fooled on this. You see the little red dot on the balls that comes in there. You recognize the slider spin.
Barely got a piece of this slider. Still 1 ball, 2 strikes. Kenta trying to face the minimum. A fastball that Escobar climbs the ladder to send foul.
Kenta is not easing into this outing. It looks like he's coming out of the pen. Throwing a fastball at 92. That last one was at 93.
And Escobar continuing to make him work.
If you want to conserve the pitch count, maybe you go to the slider right now. Fastball up, fastball in, and he swung and missed or fouled off and had weak swings at sliders away. It's good and set up right now to put him away with it.
So Barnes sets. Here comes Maeda, and Escobar takes it low and away. Maeda back downhill with a 2-2 and a fastball lifted to right. That's Trace Thompson. First Dodger action of the season, makes the catch, and the half inning is over. Dodgers come to bat for the first time when you come back. Of the first inning, and here come the Dodgers with this starting lineup. Chase Utley to lead it off, then it's Forsythe and that man down there. Chris Taylor hitting third and starting in left. Cody Bellinger the cleanup man. Austin Barnes hits fifth. Jock Peterson in center. He's started to heat up. Kike Hernandez starting again in short with Corey Seager down. Trace Thompson in right. Jesse Chavez spent the end of last year with the Dodgers after they acquired him around the deadline, but that was in relief, and because the starting rotation for the Angels has been so banged up, they got an entire rotation on the DL. Chavez has found himself in the rotation from the start this year.
A little over 50 starts in his big league career, mostly known as a reliever. Appearances in close to 400 in relief, but tell you, Jesse as a starter has a wide array of pitches, and you really got to figure out which one he's liking on a given night. You're going to see a lot of cutters and some curveballs. The fastball gets hit pretty hard.
First one to Utley's in for a strike.
The league is almost hitting 350 off his fastball, so if he's going to be effective, it has to be one of the secondary pitches getting people out.
Oh, 0-2. 33 from nearby Fontana. He's given up 5 or more in 4 of his last 7 starts. That one's just low, and it's 1-2 on Utley. Although you keep yourself from getting too excited about that, because we were giving you similar notes about Ricky Nolasco last night. He reeled off 6 1/3 shutout innings and a 4-0 Angels win.
We almost want to build him up like this is going to be a really rough night.
He gets Utley swinging with an off speed. 1 out. Similar home run problems for Chavez coming in that Nolasco had experienced prior to last night. Chavez has given up 19 total this year and at least 1 in 13 consecutive games.
Like last night, a good equation against a home run hitting team. The Dodgers had their 17-game consecutive home run streak broken last night. 17 games in a row with at least 1 home run and had 41 total. A lot from that young man, Mr. Cody Bellinger.
Logan Forsythe. 1 ball and 1 strike. Had the opener off. Dodgers ready for him to take off. You figure it's only a matter of time. Talk about the back of the baseball card on guys. Feel like we were talking about that a lot last year. Guys like Turner and so on got off to slow starts. You just knew they would start to produce because they always have. Same can be said about Forsythe, who evens it up 2-2.
They don't always return to their high water mark, but they return to their level usually, and especially if it equates with health. And that's where you trust it as somebody you trade for, somebody you sign. You're not always sure about the young guys coming out of the minor leagues. Is it going to equate? That you're evaluating skills and seeing if it's going to produce up here. But take a look at Maldonado getting his bell rung a little bit on the chin of that hockey mask.
Outside, full count. That is where Chavez likes to go against right-handed hitters. Tries to walk them off that outside corner. Goes there again, and Forsythe hits it hard to the opposite field, but room for Calhoun. 2 up, 2 down in this first inning, and here comes Chris Taylor.
Number 3, Chris Taylor.
Taylor has come back down to earth some here in June. Right now, 2 for his last 23. Hitting third tonight, Justin Turner getting a day off. Turner had played 5 in a row, and Dave Roberts wanted to get him a day as he's not too far removed from the few-week stint on the DL with a hamstring. Watch out. 1-1.
Kenta getting loose for the butterfly. It's coming up next.
Always got to have your head on the on a swivel the day Kent is pitching. 1-2.
Chavez showing good aggressiveness for a guy who's been giving up a lot of home runs and not pitching very well. Not scared of the strike zone.
Is 1-2. Low and away to even the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Chavez signed a 1-year contract with the Angels and wanted the opportunity to compete for a rotation spot. They gave him that. A full count. And it gave him an opportunity to live at home with his wife and his 3 young daughters. Their house is about 20 minutes from Angel Stadium. All his family's still in this area as well. His payoff, his foul tip for strike 3. Chavez works a 1-2-3 first inning and no score here at Dodger Stadium. Mike Scioscia. When we take a look at our Coors Light Cold Hard Facts, this was really shocking to me. Longest tenured managers in baseball history with one team. He's tied for the 5th longest run in his 18th season. The 3 former Dodgers skippers on that list: Walter Alston, Tommy Lasorda, and then way back in the early part of the 1900s, Wilbert Robinson. Luis Valbuena takes ball 1 from Kenta Maeda. Tommy Lasorda in the house tonight. On that list, one of the 5 longest tenured managers in baseball history in one team. Connie Mack, 50 years in a row. From 1901 to 1950. Managed the Philadelphia A's. Here's a 1-1. It's low, and it's 2-1.
Soch might be up there in years, but he's also getting up there in wins all time with one franchise only, and he's got 1,532, and he is chasing the skipper Tommy Lasorda, has 1,599. That would put him into second and past Tommy, maybe sometime this year, maybe next year.
In foul ground, Logan Forsythe, plenty of room. And Valbuena the first out of the second. Scioscia's caught more innings than anybody in Dodger history. Caught you 211 different times.
When he broke that record, I went to a Tombstone store and got a home plate and had it cut in the shape of home plate and had it put on there with his nickname, The Rock, and he implanted it in his bar at home.
You're a nice guy, Oral. Thoughtful, you.
I could have went above granite, but I couldn't afford it.
Andrelton Simmons the third. Logan Forsythe, good hands, 2 out.
Scioscia, 2-time manager of the year, world champion in 2002 as a manager, twice as a player, world champion.
Has the rings from all of them, but he said that it's more special to get him as a player, and that the most special rings of his are the 81 and the 88 rings. Ben Revere taking ball 1.
He was one of these guys when you're playing with him, you say, Soch, you're going to manage someday, because he's the kind of guy who bites your head off, and then in the next inning he's your best friend. And it's like, that's manager quality. He protesteth too much. He'd always say, no way, I'm getting out of the game, I'm going home. It's like, you got to be kidding me. You're going to manage. And managed in the Dodger AAA system, didn't get an opportunity here, and then the Angels snatched him away.
Maeda working with a small strike zone with the diminutive Revere up there, and he slashes it foul, 2-1.
Soch could really run a game. You know, pre-sabermetrics, you know, the catcher was really in charge of a lot of the defense and matching the defense with the pitch selection, looking out at your defense and see if they're in the right place compared to what he's reading in the swing of the hitter, compared to the pitch he wants to call. Really put everybody on the same page.
Revere rolls it to second. Chase Utley finishes off a 1-2-3 inning for Kenta Maeda. Cody Bellinger's first at-bat of the night on the other side of this break. Scoreless second inning, and we welcome you inside. Joe Davis and Orel Hershiser, and there seems right now to be an extra sense of anticipation anytime this guy right here comes to the plate.
When Cody Bellinger comes up, we better not stay on camera very long because it could happen in a hurry. I'll tell you what, first pitch, and it could go a long way.
More homers, more RBIs than any player in baseball since his debut at the end of April. On the first pitch here, he looks at a fastball for a strike.
He's about the only guy on the team that can drive the ratings up more than us, so put him on camera.
More than you and I?
Oh, yeah. Well,
I'd say there are a few.
Alex Wood, Kershaw, Turner. Go down the
Can
whole
I get an
roster.
alphabetical list and we'll read it? That's in, and it's 2-1. Angels did a good job on Bellinger last night. Struck him out 3 times. He walked once. Waits on a 2-1. In the dirt, ball 3.
You know what the really good ones think when they have an 0 for night? They'll come in the locker room after and say, okay, guys, somebody's going to pay. That's not going to happen very often.
Outside, and he started the second with a walk.
The young guys that are just coming up here and got a shot at Rookie of the Year, they don't say that when they come into the locker room, but the veterans that are producers, they'll say that to wake the team up and let them know tomorrow will be a better day.
Dodgers have their first base runner of the day, and Austin Barnes comes up. What a year Austin Barnes is having. Perhaps seeing more playing time than you would have expected. In a way, though, even with Yasmani Grandal having an all-star caliber year, Barnes has forced Dave Roberts' hand to give him more and more time. Takes a strike. And that's not a bad problem to have over the course of a long season, to have a reliable backup catcher. More than reliable. Allow you to keep both guys fresh as the year goes on. Strike 2.
You know what Austin Barnes is? Austin Barnes is Maldonado behind the plate. Maldonado was a backup. Now he's an everyday guy, and he's looking like a developing star back there. And Austin Barnes has those kind of tools, offensively and defensively. There are going to be people knocking on the Dodgers' door saying, is Yasmani going to be here for a while? What about Austin Barnes? A lot of ability on the offensive side. Guys on the team and have played with him through the minor leagues say this is a 300 hitter. Once he settles into the big leagues, this is the guy that we can tell you he's going to hit 300 up here.
He's hitting 287 right now, and he's only playing once every few days. Takes outside, count evens.
He admitted to the game really speeding up on him last year, how trying to get 3 hits in 1 at bat and really pressing, but he is really starting to settle in. And Dave Roberts really showing a lot of confidence in him, giving him back-to-back playing days sometimes.
On 2-2. Barnes takes strike 3. Just barely nipped the corner. Brings up Jock Peterson, and we take a look at our Land Rover Performance Spotlight. Over the last few games, and since he came off the DL, Jock has been really good. .318 with 4 homers in the 14 games since returning.
Just a different guy when he steps into the box now. The intent and the maturity of every move is really evident.
Ball 1. Bellinger, the Dodgers' first base runner, on a walk. Chavez to Peterson with a 1-0. Big bouncer to first. That is foul. Yasiel Puig, the night off. Sore hamstring, sore knee. Alana reported before first pitch. Quite a bench Dave Roberts can pull from tonight, though. And you include him and Turner and Grandal, perhaps Seager as well. Although still trying to decide whether or not Corey Seager's a DL situation. 1 on, 1 out. A 1-1. 2-1. Recent trivia question. Who did the Dodgers trade away to get Jesse Chavez?
I have no idea off the top of my head.
Mike Bolsinger.
Oh, okay. Singer. Mr. Curveball.
2-1. Outside for ball 3. Is that how he's known across baseball?
Well, that's his best pitch.
Yeah.
A 12-6 loopy curveball. And he sets up his fastball, really kind of pitches backwards.
Chavez pitched in 23 games with the Dodgers after that trade last year. And then signed the 1-year contract with the Angels this offseason. Throws 3-1, and Peterson grounds it foul to make the count full. That trade that Chavez was involved in to the Dodgers, that was the 6th different time he'd been traded. From Texas to Pittsburgh for Kip Wells. From Pittsburgh to Tampa Bay for Akinori Iwamura. Tampa Bay to Atlanta before he even pitched for the Rays for Rafael Soriano. Atlanta to Kansas City. Rick Ankiel and Kyle Farnsworth in that deal. And then Oakland to Toronto for Liam Hendricks. That's tied for the most of any active player.
Building up some frequent flyer miles.
Bellinger takes off. Peterson hits a pop-up. In short left field. That's a long way to go for Revere, but he's under it. And Peterson the second out.
Number 14,
Up comes Kike Hernandez. The rare single for Kike last night. 2/3 of his hits this year have gone for extra bases, including those career-high 8 home runs.
The invention of that hovering front leg has really worked for Kike this year.
And when you say invention, you mean invention, because I'm not sure there have been too many guys that have done that.
No, I mean, usually most of the fixes at the big league level, somebody finds a role model either currently that's doing well or in the past has done well, and you pick up a piece of their mechanics, or a hitting coach will say, hey, take a look at this guy. What do you think about making this move? I'm not sure you could find one that stands like this and then ends up like this as the ball's in the air. I mean, we've seen the Rays front leg, you know, that's kind of cocked. A Sarahara O, a Justin Turner, Chris Taylor's doing it a little bit. We really haven't seen it extended out like this. But it really does two things. It keeps him back, and it cuts down on his stride, because it's almost like the stride is already there. It's already been extended. There's no lunge going forward to put the foot down. Can't imagine how many 8 to 12-year-olds are trying this stance out just to be cool.
Bellinger runs. Maldonado's throw perfectly done to nail it. Both catchers gunning a runner down tonight. We've played 2. Off and rolling in Los Angeles, and no score.
to work here in the third inning. A quick update for you on left-hander Julio Urias, who has been shut down for the remainder of the season. In fact, he's going to be out 12 to 14 months. Julio had successful surgery earlier today in Los Angeles. Dr. Neil Elatrosh performing the surgery. It was the left anterior capsule. Julio posting some photos on both Instagram and Twitter earlier today that said the surgery was successful. Dave Roberts also saying that Dr. Elatrosh was much more optimistic after actually going in and performing the surgery than prior to the surgery, so that's good news. Still anticipated to be out 12 to 14 months, guys.
All right, Alana, but I guess as good a news as you could hope for. There were no surprises in that shoulder. Maeda back to work. Martin Maldonado looks at ball one. Bottom third of the order. Maeda's faced the minimum. Here's his 1-0. Wild swing and a miss at a slider. Strike one. Leadoff man Eric Young singled against him, but then was thrown out trying to steal second. One and two. Maeda gets him swinging. So Kenta has his first strikeout of the night.
Take a look at the Audi pitch cast as we see where it was in the strike zone. A little up and away cutter slash slider. It's hard to tell when they're up there. Did he hang the slider and power it by him, or was that the cut fastball that he came through?
The 8-hitter Cliff Pennington making his first start of the series. Cuts through a fastball that hits 92. Strike one. Maeda much better pace to him than we've seen at times this year.
I was going to mention the same thing. Not only the aggressiveness in the strike zone, getting down the hill with commitment, but boy, between pitches, we're seeing a little bit of a delay here, but between pitches, he's been just getting right on the rubber and coming at you.
Back to Pennington, 0-2, and it's fouled back.
He's very deliberate now also from the windup in his step back to take it directly back his line that he wants to take going forward to the home plate. So he doesn't really take his center of gravity offline at all anymore. There's no mid-delivery adjustment on what direction he's going to head. Straight back, and now I'm coming at you.
Missed away, ball one. Tweaks and more tweaks and some other tweaks.
Well, he went from going all the way over his head to just taking it to his chest with the glove and the throwing arm. Right to there.
Pennington drills one. Foul.
I think he's going to get one with some spin on it right here. You saw my fastball right there, pulled it foul. If I take speed off, how are you going to hit it fair? Make the hitter make the biggest adjustment.
Go on with a changeup. Left it up, got away with it. Maeda, the former Gold Glover in Japan, makes easy work of Pennington for the second out.
Good change of speeds, poor location. One of the two right, and it works out. Just tops it out in front. Very routine once you get the ball there as a pitcher. Just take a deep breath and just unload it.
Jesse Chavez now with the bases empty and 2 out. That one hit in his career came against a former Dodger farmhand, Alan Webster, 3 years ago, and Webster was with the Diamondbacks. Chavez was with Oakland at that point, playing in an interleague game in Phoenix. 2-1. This is actually his first year having any at-bats in 3 years. Got to go back to his time in Oakland in those interleague games. Last time he was a full-time starter. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Full count. Rich Hill issued a walk to Ricky Nolasco last night. Kenta Maeda in a dangerous spot in that regard here against another American League pitcher, but he gets him and puts bookend strikeouts on it. 1, 2, 3, third.
Vote for your 2017 All-Stars with the Esurance MLB All-Star Game ballot. Vote at Dodgers.com/vote and catch all the excitement of the 88th MLB All-Star Game presented by MasterCard, July 11th, live on Fox.
He'll be there, no question about that. Good chance he could start the All-Star game. That often depends on where the pitcher falls as far as his rest goes. And right now, though, there's no better choice than him. Max Scherzer obviously be in the equation. Carlos Martinez will get a few mentions in that regard, but it'll be up to the manager to decide it. It'll be Joe Maddon this year. Ball 1 on Kike Hernandez, who was at the plate when the last inning ended, with Bellinger getting caught trying to steal second. Two and 0. Strike 1.
This Dodger offense shut out last night. Was out hit by the Angels 8 hits to 5 and 4-0 on the scoreboard. And that is a rarity for this team of late.
Two balls, 2 strikes. 41-15 this team is since they started 10-12. 41-15.
Best record in June, 18-6, even with the loss last night. Best in MLB in June.
That stretch I mentioned, that's the best in the majors by 3 games. It's the best in the National League by 5 games.
Is that a landmark with Cody Bellinger arriving, or is that another landmark?
it's almost identical to his arrival. You take it back 2 more days, they are 42-16 since his debut. A payoff to Hernandez. He pokes one in the air to right. Calhoun started back, now comes on, and 1 gone.
Right field, number 21, Trace Thompson.
With the bases empty and 1 out, Trace Thompson coming up. What a rough start to this season it was for him. That 0 for 8 early on in the majors combined with an 0 for 18 in the minors to start. He extended a little bit farther. He started the year 2 for 55 between the 2 levels. He takes ball 1 here.
That'll make you doubt yourself for sure.
He's climbed out of that though, hitting above 200, which doesn't sound like much, but when you consider the hole that he was in. He's also homered 7 times in AAA. It's a guy who was almost an everyday player for the Dodgers before his back injury a year ago. Fouls it back, and it's 1-2.
There are a lot of people in the Dodger organization are still very high on Trace. I'm high on Trace. I saw him as an everyday outfielder after the trade from the White Sox. I thought this was a very key piece, and he burst on the scenes with a lot of big hits, a lot of late inning home runs, and showed that he doesn't melt down under pressure. Comes from a very professional sports family that really understands the work ethic and what it takes to succeed up here. Another easy guy on the Dodger roster to root for.
Lines it to third and snapped by Escobar.
After the season's over, he's going to be ready for it to end if he keeps hitting in that line. It's like enough with 2017.
Dodgers still looking for their first hit as Maeda comes up. Gives a nod to his former teammate, albeit for a short time, and Chavez. Good year at the plate for Kenta. Oh, 0-2. And as you see there, he's on the verge of doing something he's not done. They'll have to wait on that. He still hasn't struck out. Thrown out by Escobar, and the inning is over. So once through the order, the Dodgers still searching for their first hit against Jesse Chavez through a 3. LA is brought to you by the Ram 1500 Rebel. Experience the power and toughness of Ram at your local dealer. And by Jack in the Box. Come try the new sweet or spicy barbecue bacon cheeseburger and chicken sandwich. Limited time only. Good handy here right now. They're honoring Don Newcomb. Showed him on the video board here at Dodger Stadium. Dodger, great, and a great human being that is still a very important part of this organization. Sits down field level in the owner's box during batting practice almost every day and gets visits from almost every Dodger.
Kenley Jansen especially, Yasiel Puig stops by, and words of wisdom from that man all the time, and giving some of the history of the organization. So guys really appreciate the uniform they get to put on every day. They've earned it to put it on, but it's an honor still, and guys like Don Newcomb remind you of that.
Well, both pitchers facing the minimum once through the order. That was despite Eric Young starting the game with a single. He was caught trying to steal second. It's been a tough year off of the field for Eric Young Jr. Goes after the first pitch, hits it foul. After his hit in the first inning, and he does this after each hit, puts 3 fingers to the sky, and that's in honor of his late infant son, Eric Young III. Passed away soon after he was born this winter. And E3 gets honored each time EY Jr. gets on. That's up, and it's 1-1. Mike Scioscia said that he's been an incredible inspiration to this group. As soon as he was acquired on a minor league contract, he addressed the entire big league roster, laid out what he had gone through. And when they called him up when Mike Trout went down with the injury, it was an immediate jolt because of the inspiration that he is. Pops a bunt to second. Utley has no play. That's the kind of energy that Eric Young Jr. has brought to this club with a heavy heart coming into this year.
Number 56, Cole Calhoun.
Base hit and another salute to his lost son, and I can't imagine what he went through other than to honor him in a way that he passes on. What an honor it is to be a dad, and what a responsibility is still for all the other guys.
And he says that the way he's playing this year, he's doing that in memory of his son. A little bit added edge, added energy to his game. Strike one on Cole Calhoun. And there's always been energy to his game, just like the way his dad played this game. But if it was possible to take it up even another notch, what he and his family went through, he says, has helped him do that. He's aboard to open the 4th in a scoreless game. It's the only base runner the Angels have had through 4 innings tonight. He's been on there twice. Playing Calhoun to pull the ball on the ground for this 0-1 pitch. He does, but it's foul.
Calhoun needs a new piece of lumber. Can't the guy inside on him, even though he pulled that ball. Calhoun at his best when he's using left field, and that's what he's been doing lately through this hot streak, hitting the ball to all fields. How many hitters do you say that about? When they go good, they use the opposite field.
"29 years old now, Calhoun. Been in the majors for 6 seasons, all of them with the team that drafted him out of Arizona State. Batting with Young at first and nobody out. Here comes an 0-2. Drags it to second, should be 2. There's 1, but a slow transfer over there means that Calhoun beats it out. Kind of an awkward flip from Chase Utley. And it didn't leave Kike Hernandez any time to make the turn.
Kike has 0 momentum because he goes directly to the bag, so as he's waiting for the throw, he really can't cause any momentum coming across the bag, because in the shift he was up the middle, came backwards to the bag, and then really kind of mishandled it around his waist One of the hardest places to understand where to turn your glove is when the ball's right at your waist. Do you turn it under? Do you turn it up? And kind of got in between.
Yeah, you're exactly right. The flip was fine, but as a product of the shift, Hernandez's handling of that flip was not. Here's Escobar. And he hits one up the middle into center. A base hit past a diving Utley. Escobar with a bullet single. 2 on with 1 out.
Well, this is high enough that Kenta can get out of the way, and that's what you really want to do. If it happens to hit your glove, you'll take the catch, but that's just self-preservation when that ball's coming back at you like that.
Luis Valbuena with runners at first and second and 1 gone. He is a double play candidate. If Maeda can get a ground ball here. That's a breaking ball wide of the zone, ball 1. One and 1. Diamondbacks opening a series tonight with the Cardinals in Phoenix. They trail St. Louis 1-0 in the 6th inning. Dodgers starting the day with a 1.5 game lead on Arizona. Diamondbacks 15-3 in their last 18. 2-1.
Rockies down 1-0 to the Giants. Giants are home. That's at the end of 3.
Rockies have dropped 6 in a row now. 4.5 back. Kept on wondering who would be the first to come back to earth. Would it be the Diamondbacks or the Rockies? And I think most people said the Diamondbacks would come back to earth sooner. They just keep on winning under Torey Lovullo in his first year there. They come here to Dodger Stadium for the next homestand, 4th of July next week. Supposed to be a packed house. Should be a fun environment. And a big series to boot. You wouldn't have thought that when the schedule came out. It was, oh, let's go on July 4th because there'll be fireworks. But now, fireworks are almost secondary to what will be a big series in the final week of the first half. Two on with 1 out and a scoreless 4th inning. And it's bounce foul, 2-2.
Yeah, if you're thinking about spending the holiday with us, you better check online or get your tickets now. They're going fast.
And let's be honest, where else would you want to spend it?
It's going to be a lot of different things. They're going to have a giant flag on the field for the holiday. They're going to have some flyovers. I think Billy Ray Cyrus is going to perform a national anthem.
Got him swinging. 2 out. 3rd K from Maeda. And it'll be up to Simmons here in the 4th inning.
Let's take a look at the Volkswagen replay of this high cheese gets by him. Got the altitude right there. Flew that right over the bat.
Calhoun at second, Escobar at first, and Maeda to the plate with the first one. It's a slider for ball 1. Andrelton Simmons, his best offensive season so far. Swinging it with a lot of confidence in his 2nd year in Anaheim. Be there for the foreseeable future. They have him signed through 2020. Ground ball to short. Hernandez has it, and the Angels finished in the fourth. Dodger bats trying to get it going. Still looking for their first run of this series against Anaheim. The July game with the Diamondbacks in town. Celebrate it with us. For a limited time only, reserve level tickets are starting at a revolutionary $17.76. I get it. Nice. Special fireworks show presented by 99 cents only stores follows the game. Go to Dodgers.com/promotions. Top of the Dodger order is still in search of their first hit of the night against Jesse Chavez. Tails a fastball over the outer third, strike one. Second night in a row the Dodgers have struggled against a guy that spent half a season in Dodger blue. Last night it was Ricky Nolasco, who was here in the 2013 season. Now it's Chavez, who was here after the deadline last year. They are the latest of 110 players that have played for both franchises. Utley swings and misses 1 and 2. So of course it got us thinking, well, who was the first that played for both? And the first thing you said, Earl, was had to have been a guy that went from the Dodgers to the Angels. That would only make sense.
What I thought.
Right, and you were right. Fouled off. We'll do it again. Just giving them some time to fire out their guesses at home. I'm sure there are some great Dodger history buffs out there that probably know this answer. Steve Bilko played in 1958 with the Dodgers and then was on the expansion Angels in 1961.
When you go to an expansion draft, every level of the draft, there's a certain amount of players that you can protect. And sooner or later, you're going to get somebody plucked off your roster.
Same time that Chavez, second time Chavez has gotten Utley with a curve and one away here in the fourth.
Number 11.
There were two other former Dodgers on that Angels expansion team. Art Fowler, who had played for the Dodgers in 1959, and then Rocky Bridges. The second part to that trivia question, who's the first guy to go the other way? So from the Angels to the Dodgers. This is a more significant one. Logan Forsythe taking ball one.
Well, do you have a year on that one?
Okay, so I can tell you the year that he's most known for.
Okay.
I think that may be a good hint. 1965.
Okay.
2-0. That, of course, is a world championship year.
You want to give him a position now?
It's Lou Johnson.
Oh, sweet Lou.
2-1. 32 years old. He got called up that year by the Dodgers when Tommy Davis dislocated his ankle early on in the year. So got an opportunity to play for the Dodgers because of that. And went on to hit the deciding home run in Game 7 of the World Series. Off of the left field foul pole to help the Dodgers beat the Twins and bring home their second World Championship in 3 years. 2-2.
Every time I get to see Sweet Lou, he puts a smile on my face. He is just so much fun to be around. I remember last time I saw him was at the Jackie Robinson dedication of the statue. He's a joy to be around.
Forsythe tries to lay off and does to run the count full. So there you go, your trivia question of the night. First player to play for both teams was Steve Bilko. First player to go from the Angels to the Dodgers, Sweet Lou Johnson. Chavez home with a payoff, and Forsythe swings away, hits a fly ball to center. Eric Young and Cole Calhoun come together, and it's Young to make the call on the catch.
Okay, what's going on here with the bats?
You tell me, you're the analyst.
I know, I am watching these guys, and they're having good solid at bats, just people are not hitting the ball as hard. It seemed to really take effect, and it's going back a ways, but bases loaded, 2 out yesterday in the first inning. Looked like they all looked right, and then Jock made the out with 2 out and bases loaded, and it just looked like everything just kind of, the air went out of the sails.
Taylor flies it to center. Chavez with another 1-2-3 inning. If Young can find it, and he can't. That is the first Dodger hit of the night. There's some wind back into the sails, perhaps, on a night where there is none.
I'm going to watch the replay and see it for the first time. I put my head down and started keeping score. This ball right now in the big leagues isn't out, but right there when he goes out with his hands, he doesn't see it at all. And this guy is that grayish blue. When you rub up a white baseball with dirt, it can look the same color when it gets up in there.
And you read the lips of Young. Oh, shoot. So it gives Cody Bellinger a 2-out opportunity here. What a lonely feeling that has to be. I mean, that's a lonely spot on the field to begin with. So much empty space around you standing in center field. And that ball's hit up there. You know it's up there somewhere. You just have no idea where. You don't know when it's coming down. You just know that it is.
And you haven't run very far, so there's nobody to help you. If you run to one gap or the other, you know you got your right fielder or your left fielder to help you.
Bellinger takes outside, ball 1.
No idea. And it's proven he has no idea when he's about 30 feet from it.
2-0. Maldonado fires back down there. Taylor's in safe.
Maldonado loves to throw. We've seen him just for 2 games, and I think he's backpicked maybe 4 times. We've played about 13 innings where we've had our eyeballs on him.
And has had a legitimate chance to get someone none of those 4 times. On 2-0. Bellinger with a home run cut and a miss on a pitch that disappears. Strike 1.
Little combio right here. And Maldonado wants it off the plate. He throws it on the plate. The speed just gets him. Boy, he was on it. He just missed it.
24 home runs to lead the National League for Cody Bellinger. Trying to take advantage of the mistake with 2 outs, with Young losing the ball in this guy. On 2-1. That's in the dirt for ball 3.
But Chavez is looking at Bellinger, and he's big news. So then he looks in the on-deck circle, and he sees Barnes, and he says, okay, a lefty power hitter that is hot as could be, and a righty backup catcher that's right-handed. He's going to pick his poison. He's going to throw a pitcher's pitch right here. He's not throwing a strike.
Second time he's walked Bellinger. And so the weight of getting this offense going will fall on the shoulders of Austin Barnes with 2 on and 2 out. Came into the game hitting .351 over the last month. And among players with as many plate appearances as he has or more, top 10 in the National League overall on base percentage. Two on, 2 out, scoreless fourth. Chavez to Barnes with ball 1. Now the 1-0. Outside, ball 2.
Good take. Head in the count, and don't pick on a pitcher's pitch. Find something you like right now. You got a couple strikes in your pocket you can use.
Said it earlier, but Chavez loves to do that. Continue to chip away, away, away. Going there again. And Barnes taking one that was in the same spot it appeared as the previous, but a different result according to Mike Estabrook.
Take a look at that with the Audi pitch cast off to the side here. I thought that was way wide.
Instead of 3-0, it's 2-1. Three and 1. Who knows right now on the outside corner. Chavez continues to live there, though. Same spot as the last one.
He's got to call that.
He's established it, hasn't he?
Get something down the middle or on the inner half if that's what you're looking for, Austin. Leave that stuff away alone. Pass the baton to Jock if he wants to walk you.
First and second, 2 out. A 3-1. That's a beautiful pitch. 3-2.
Same pitch he got him looking on and striking him out in the last at bat. A little two-seamer or changeup that comes back and catches the outside corner. Looks like it's going to be in a left-hand batter's box and then works its way back to the plate.
Runners to get a head start. There they go. Here it comes. Barnes strikes out, and Chavez gets out of the jam. Dodgers leave him at first and second, and Young breathes a sigh of relief.
from today, but time is running out to get your favorite players to the Midsummer Classic. Time now for the T-Mobile Unlimited Baseball break, and I have to tell you, I'm still a bit shocked for this fact. Corey Seager still behind in the voting, about 260,000 votes behind Cincinnati Reds shortstop Zach Cozart. And guys, the Dodgers are in first place in the National League West, and they have some first-place players that need to be represented as far as starters are concerned for the All-Star game. You still have time to vote. Thursday night, 11:59 p.m. Eastern. Let's go.
Get him, Alana.
Get your fingers working. Get on your keyboard.
Scoreless game on to the 5th inning. Glad you're with us tonight. Ben Revere starts off against Kenta Maeda and takes strike one. What have you thought of Maeda through 4, Oral?
Outstanding. The same guy we've seen all June. Very aggressive. Slider hasn't been quite as much for a strike as we've seen, but the fastball's been very aggressive. So's the cutter.
Oof.
Nasty curveball right there. And you know what? That was a really sharp one. That's not the get over, I'm going to steal a strike curve. That had great finish. Look at this ball bury. Wow. He'll throw just a little blooper, but if he's going to use that arm speed and that aggressiveness with the breaking ball, not as a rest pitch, but an aggressive go-to pitch, he can spin it.
0-2. Rides a fastball up there at 92, and Revere pokes it foul.
Early in my career, Sandy Koufax told me, he said, look, Or, when you throw your breaking ball, it seems like there's less effort. You know, it's not an off-speed pitch. It actually takes more work to throw a good breaking ball than it does to throw a good fastball, because you have to get to the front of the baseball and you have to get there with arm speed. Less time to decel your arm after the ball leaves your hand, so you got to work harder on your curveball.
Dips one low, and it's 1-2.
When you work hard on it, that breaking ball, and you get your fingers to the front of the ball comes out level and then bites like that Maeda curveball did, compared to your hand does not get to the front. The ball pops out of your hand first, telegraphs the break to the hitter, and all of a sudden you just have a get-over curveball, not a put-away curveball.
Six, 7, and 8 for the Angels in this inning. Revere's starting it off and fouling another. The out that he made in the second. Revere is now 6 for his last 50. It's a guy who, over his first 6 years in the majors with Minnesota and Philly and Toronto, was a .295 hitter, but his last 2 years is hitting .213. All started on opening day last year in Washington, and the very first swing that he took, he tore his oblique. And so he was out for the first month, eased his way back, never really out of his mind last year. He's left off the National League Division Series roster, and what a long, hard fall for a guy who was one of the bright young players in the game when he first broke in. Another 2-2. Revere pulls it off of the hands to second. That's Chase Utley. That's out number 1.
Kenta Maeda, 64 pitches. Here we are, 1 out in the 5th. 44 of those are for strikes. He's been very efficient and no lack of confidence in the fastball.
Guy that grew up playing more soccer than he did baseball. But like many of his age from Japan, fell in love with baseball watching Ichiro play in the United States. Got to face Ichiro last year, struck him out. Bases empty, 1 gone, and it's Maldonado. Strike 1. Yeah, Ichiro's still going. He's still
awesome.
playing.
Yeah, you know, a little easier to strike him out at this point in his career. Not an everyday player, but when he was getting all those hits coming over here from Japan, and you could never strike him out.
Maldonado rips it to short. Hernandez somehow, and from his knees. Are you kidding me? tip of the cap from Kenta. And from close to 50,000 admirers in here tonight.
He can play every position on the field, and he hasn't pitched yet, but he's playing shortstop, and he's playing it like a little leaguer from his knees. And watch this arm. Played center field the other day, cut off Franklin Gutierrez because he had the better arm, pegged a guy out at home from left field as a center fielder, and now from his knees in the hole at short, shows off the arm there.
Play of the year defensively for the Dodgers. Strike one on Cliff Pennington. If you put it in a vacuum, don't worry about the context of the game necessarily. It's not that it prevented a run, although it is scoreless still. 1-1.
Definitely make the top 10 plays of the week in the pre and the post game show back at Spectrum. When you watch that, you'll see that play again.
Pennington on a bounce, and it gets by Utley. It rolls to the foul line, and Pennington moves into scoring position.
Do your best to get in front of this one, and as it bounces, just like you can get a bad hop on just a routine ground ball, you get a different hop that doesn't stay square with you. That one looked like it deflected off of Chase's hip.
It's ruled a double.
Well, if it's initially a hit, then the extra base does make it a double.
So Chavez with a runner at second and 2 out. Maeda needs only to retire the pitcher to have that just be a blip on the radar. Gently hit foul, strike one. What a way for Jesse Chavez to lose his no-hitter. Granted, it was only the 4th inning, but still moving right along. And then Eric Young Jr. loses a ball in the setting sun. Falls for a Chris Taylor double. Nothing in 2. Ball one. Night off for Albert. Normally the DH for the Angels. Obviously no DH here in the National League Park. He'll be back in there each of the next 2 nights down in Anaheim. A 1-2, and Chavez strikes out swinging. We are halfway home in a scoreless game, and Kike Hernandez with one of the great plays you will ever see. He even kind of crow hops from his knees. on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by your Southern California Toyota dealers. Get the Toyota truck of your dreams at Toyota's Summer Drive Sales Event. What a night to be at Dodger Stadium with a temperature in the high 70s to open this one. It's cooled off even from there to right now. Jesse Chavez has not cooled off, though. Just one hit, and it should not have been. It was a routine fly ball to center that Eric Young Jr. couldn't find, leading to a double for Chris Taylor. He then walked Cody Bellinger, but struck out Austin Barnes to get out of the inning. Jock Peterson to lead off the Dodger half of the fifth. Each of his last 2 home runs have come on the first pitch of an inning. This one's low, and it's 1-0. Hitting above 300 with 4 home runs since coming off of the DL. By far the best that he's looked this year. Bouncing ball to second. Pennington's got it. 1 out.
Number 14, Kike Hernandez.
Up comes Hernandez.
Chavez has done a nice job mixing his pitches, but the biggest thing that stands out with me is the fact that he goes to an area and then he doesn't make a mistake if he stays there. He's able to pound one side of the plate or the other, or stick with a certain pitch, and it's not about varying the pitch all the times, it's just about not making a mistake.
It's ball 1.
Very tight spray pattern tonight from him.
A little bit surprising. He's given up so many homers.
You see right there, just these first 2 pitches, 2-0, but 2 good mistakes. Both low and away. He's not missing up and down the middle. Staying away there, now 3-0, and that's good at bat from Kike, not coming out of his shoes trying to just swing at a 2-0 pitch, build an inning. If Chavez can keep throwing strikes on the edges.
Strike 1. Mentioned it off at the top. He's allowed a home run in 13 consecutive outings. He's walked Hernandez with 1 out in the 5th. It's a weird game, isn't it? I mean, the team that's hit a home run in 17 consecutive games going into last night faces the guy that's allowed more homers than anybody in baseball, and the streak ends against him. And now the following night, similar numbers for Chavez, and they've done nothing.
Perfect game played by imperfect people. You cannot predict it.
Trey's line to third his first time up. Fouls it back, strike 1. Talked about the hole that Trace dug himself to begin this season. The 2 for 55 between the 2 levels combined. Good example for him, he said, as he was going through that, was Chase Utley. As he watched Chase Utley get off to a similarly slow start and then dig his way out of it. Swing and a towering fly ball to left center field. Revere's back onto the track with room. Just misses cracking this scoreless tie. Chavez thought that he got it. 2 out.
Chavez saw a nightmare, and it was a long nightmare because this ball is hit up in the sky. Trace thinks he might have gotten enough of it. Woke up just in time on the mound for the Angels.
Just to finish off that thought about Utley, they had developed a relationship obviously last year, both being on the Dodgers. As Maeda gets ready to bat. And one of the first calls that Trace got when he was sent back down after a few ABs up here in the big leagues was from Chase Utley. Told him to stick with it and he'd be fine. It wouldn't be long before he came back, and they kept in touch as they both got off to those slow starts. Nothing in 2. Trace said he was looking at Utley's line and saying, look, if that guy at his age can dig out of it the way he has, why can't I?
They both needed big shovels, but they both did it. Those kind of slumps, that's where the management really hopes that a guy has a slump like that in the minor leagues, that he can weed through that and understand the mental grind of a long slump like that, so that if it does happen in the public eye up here in the big leagues, they've been through it. They've got some of the scars and the calluses to be able to deal with it.
Maeda again puts it in play, and at second, Pennington will throw him out. On to the sixth, still no score.
Time for the Arco top tier players, and you've got to go with these two starting pitchers, both of them cruising. Zeros up there on the board. One getting him, Jesse Chavez, with changeups and cutters other than the fastball, and Kenta Maeda using his slider and his curveball tonight has been outstanding. And you see him, we were boxing, going toe to toe there with the measurements. Chavez with the 84. Kenta Maeda 73 pitches, so both are still raring to go.
This will be the featherweight.
Yeah, they're both about the same weight class.
Boy, the longer this thing goes for Jesse Chavez with the way he's pitching, the worse Eric Young Jr. is going to feel.
Yeah, that in some ways Eric Young Jr. wants him to give up a hit, but I'm not sure you want that for a teammate, but that would take him out of the spotlight.
Done his best to make up for it at the plate with a pair of singles tonight. It's inside, ball one. Young, 32 years old, 9th year with Major League time. Rockies, the Mets, the Braves, the Yankees, and now the Angels. Curve's been good for Maeda tonight. 1 ball and 1 strike.
I'm sure Eric Young is trying to start a rally right here, even pop one out of here after losing that fly ball in center field, giving up the only hit so far.
Rolls it to second. Chase Utley's there. 1 out. Those are 2 outs in the Dodger 4th inning. Routine fly ball to center field that he just loses.
Right fielder Cole Calhoun.
You said, Joe, that's a lonely position, and that's a lonely feeling when that happens. Especially when it's the only blemish, the only hit the Dodgers have.
Base is empty, 1 gone, and Cole Calhoun the hitter. Ball 1. And a guy that went undrafted 4 different times when he was eligible. Out of high school, after his freshman year of junior college baseball, sophomore year of junior college baseball, and then after his junior year at Arizona State. Swings wildly and misses, and it's 1-1.
Cut fastball there. Austin Barnes had the target up, so kind of coming waist high to Calhoun with the cutter. Got through it so much it almost looked like a slider by the time he threw it down and in.
Line to second, caught by Utley, 2 out. So with the bases empty and 2 gone, Yunel Escobar comes to the plate carrying the largest bat in baseball. 36 inches, 34 ounces, although it looks like a little stick the way he's swinging it like that. Maple. And he's been using this huge bat for the last 4 or 5 years now. While he was with Tampa Bay during spring training, he kept fouling pitches off the end of the bat, and so Joe Madden, who was the manager at the time, said, hey, try this one out. And he did some in spring training. Didn't quite feel comfortable with it. Lifts one to center. Peterson will catch it to end the inning. First time he took it into a game, he hit a home run at Yankee Stadium and hasn't stopped using that big piece of lumber since.
The conversation, Yasiel not in the starting lineup today, dealing with that hamstring issue as well as some knee tenderness. There is some off-field news about Yasiel Puig, however. When the team was in Cleveland, he had made an obscene gesture to some fans. Major League Baseball had suspended him for 1 game. Yasiel Puig did appeal the suspension while he was waiting for a second ruling, and that second ruling has been made, guys. The 1-game suspension has been rescinded, and he instead will make a charitable donation by agreement of Major League Baseball as well as the Major League Baseball Players Association, so no suspension will happen.
All right, appreciate the update, Alana. It's as if he has a chain connected between him and Turner Ward.
It's true. It started out player coach, then I think it went to T.O., which is uncle. It's almost getting to Papa.
Ball 1 on Chase Utley, leading off the 6th. What an odd couple.
Well, yeah, if you listen to them both talk, you'd wonder how they communicate. And you don't need an interpreter to listen to Yasiel. You need the interpreter to listen to Turner.
Stop it. Turner has the deepest southern drawl you will ever hear.
And some of the funniest way to put things.
It's on the corner, 1-2.
The guys, they love the hitters meetings, not only because of the information he gives about opposing pitching staffs, but the way he formulates his comments. When they come out of there with a smile on their face, remembering what they need to do and what the plan is, because it's in terms they've never heard sometimes.
Chavez home 1-2. Utley swats one to the opposite field down a base hit. Hits first and heads for second with a leadoff double. Was thinking 2 out of the box, knowing the scouting report on the arm of Young in center. And the Dodgers in business here in the 6th.
Location, location, location. That's how you buy real estate. Well, Chase Utley plays every detail, so he doesn't assume anything. He has busted it to first, and he uses first base as a springboard into second.
Let's see if the Dodgers can take advantage here. Looking for their first run of this series. Logan Forsythe. Down and away for ball 1. His offense, which had been so good, has hit a wall over the last couple nights.
Best bullpen in the National League is the Dodgers. Kenta Maeda with a stellar outing on the mound so far. Logan Forsythe looking to give himself up and get Utley to third.
Ahead 2-0. Action down in that bullpen. Jose Alvarez. Angels bullpen, like the Dodgers, has been really good. Big part of the reason they're 2 games above 500, within a game of a playoff spot. Angels took a pitcher's duel last night, 4-0. Who will break through first in game 2? A 2-0. 3 balls and no strikes on Forsythe. He'll have the green light if he wants it. 3-0. Strike 1.
Chavez has not given in all night, and he's not going to give in now. He's been trying to hit that outside corner this whole at bat. Not afraid to set up the double play if he happens to walk him, but he is not throwing anything near the middle of the plate.
Here comes to the 3-1, and Forsythe swings away, fouls it off. Count is full.
Perfect situation for Forsythe to hit the ball to the right side. Wants to make sure it's a strike, and that's going to put him a little later in his approach, and that's going to make him hit more balls to the right field side.
He walks. 2 on, nobody out against Chavez here in the 6th.
Charlie Nagy, exceptional pitcher for the Cleveland Indians, now the pitching coach here for the Angels. Outstanding 2-seam fastball when Charlie pitched, and a great curveball.
Well, Cody Bellinger is on this historic pace, and because of it, the summer 6-pack mini plan just got better with the announcement of Cody Bellinger's first ever bobblehead giveaway. It's coming in September, and you can customize your summer 6-pack around that night. Go to Dodgers.com/mini plans to learn more. 2 on and nobody out with Jesse Chavez 95 pitches deep into this one. And Chris Taylor coming up.
Chris Taylor is batting third here tonight, but do you think he's going to bat third in the Dodger order? I don't know if Dave Roberts will have his third hitter bunting here. Chris really broke into the Dodgers this year, you know, hitting 7th or 8th, but has performed so well, has hit in the third hole a few times.
Corners come in thinking there's a chance at least. But didn't show any signs of it. Took a ball.
I think he's swinging the whole time now. A lot of times you'll have a guy square around a bunt, take, and then look for the cookie fastball where the defense is assuming he's gonna bunt. And you get a strike and you then swing on the second pitch. I think he's swinging for sure.
Generous strike, 1-1.
Chris has gotten some tough calls tonight back there on these balls that are away. And that one is wide again.
And Chris, always so polite. Looked back at home plate umpire Mike Estabrook and said, wasn't that a little bit off the plate? Pitchcast says yes. A 1-1. Down and away. Ball 2. Chavez digging deep. 98 pitches now. Is back against the wall in a tie game in the 6th.
There's no sense for Chavez to come inside unless he's coming in off the plate. If you're getting that wide outside corner, you want to throw that two-seamer or change up out there, make it look wide and come back and touch the plate.
2-2.
Lots of real estate for the Dodger hitters to cover tonight.
It's a chance this will be the final batter that Jesse Chavez faces, with Cody Bellinger due next and the 100th pitch forthcoming. And the left-hander and Alvarez all but ready to go. Two on with nobody out and no score in the 6th. The 2-2 pitch. High fly ball to center. Utley's tagging up. Young's got it. Utley's headed for third. And they're at the corners with one out. Job well done by Chris Taylor to advance the runner. Bellinger's announced. Mike Scioscia on the top step of the dugout, giving Jose Alvarez another minute or two to loosen up. Aldonado out to buy, you would think, a little bit more time. Or, no? Okay, they're going to make the change. Squeezing every ounce out of that time that they could to allow Alvarez to get ready. Chavez finished. The lefty Alvarez coming on to face the left-handed batting Bellinger. Runners at the corners and one out in a scoreless 6. Five and a third, only 2 hits against him. Runners at the corner is his responsibility as he hands it off to the bullpen. Who's in, who's out. Brought to you by In-N-Out. Jose Alvarez, the left-hander, who has allowed 5 home runs this year, and 4 of them have come to left-handed hitters, despite facing just about as many righties as he has lefties.
Couple of days off for Jose, so he is very well rested. Not a predominantly powerful guy. Low 90s fastball to left-handed hitters. Your off-speed pitch you got to look for is the slider, and he may mix in a curve, but not a whole lot of them. So it's mostly fastball about 92, slider about 80.
And for Bellinger, more home runs against righties, but when you're looking at the number of at-bats that he's had, he actually homers more frequently against left-handed pitchers than he does right-handed pitchers. Doesn't need a home run here. No score in the 6th. At the corners with 1 out. Outside, ball 1. Chavez walked him both times he saw him. It's Corey Seager with batting gloves on and a bat in his hand. Now the 1-0. Bellinger cracks a bouncing ball, base hit to give the Dodgers the lead. Opposite field single, Cody Bellinger, 1-0 in the 6th.
A lot of times, first and third, you're trying to pull the ball if you're a left-handed hitter because of but with the shift with Cody, the left side is more open. He looks like he just blocks this ball over there, knowing with his speed, any ball hit over there is going to be hard to get a double play. He's going to drive in the run. He gets the extra benefit, a base hit.
And drives in his team-leading 56th RBI. Not just team leading, but major league leading since the day that he was called up in late April. Seager getting more and more frisky looking.
He's a really good weapon or a really good deke for Dave Roberts. Just to have him look like he's active makes Mike Scioscia's wheels turn as Bob Guerin and Dave Roberts go over all the different alternatives, and Mike watching his team fall behind.
So the Dodgers have their first run of this series, and Austin Barnes batting with men at first and second and 1 out. Good speed on the bases with Forsythe at second, Bellinger at first. Barnes takes it in the dirt and the runners hold. Did you see the StatCast article that came out yesterday that has data that Cody Bellinger is the fastest Dodger?
Wow.
They asked Alex Wood about it. Wood said, it's cool seeing him hit home runs, but I'd almost rather watch him double because it's such a beautiful thing watching him run. The 1-0. Barnes with a cue shot. At first, Valbuena feeding Alvarez, who beats a diving Barnes for out number 2.
Center fielder, John Peterson.
Second and third, 2 gone, and it's Peterson. With Justin Turner joining Corey Seager and looking a little more ready than he was over the first 5 innings. Here comes Alvarez. Front door, strike 1. That run charged to Chavez. Just 1 run on 2 hits against him tonight. Peterson lifts a fly ball to center field. Back goes Young onto the track. Leaps at the wall and it's gone. To dead center. It had just enough. It is his 7th.
Jock's swing is so compact and yet still powerful now. He fools you with these swings. You don't see the big release of the top hand. You don't see him kind of spin like a top in the box like he killed it. He is finding out that he can hit him out with a more consistent, compact swing.
Strike one on Kike Hernandez. 7th homer and his 5th one since coming off the DL a few weeks back. We talked about this over the weekend, but Tommy Lasorda is somebody who has told many hitters, and he said Jock is one of them. Look, man, they all count the same. You just got to get it just over the fence. 1-2.
And when the effort in the box looks like they're trying to hit it 500 feet on every swing, and Tommy knows that there's lightning in their hands, you don't need the full thunderstorm. You just need one little bolt. A bolt that takes it over the fence is just good enough.
Hernandez down swinging, and the inning comes to an end. But in the blink of an eye, the Dodgers get 4. Cody Bellinger goes the other way with a bouncing ball RBI single. Jock Peterson with a homer to center, and it's 4-0. After 14 scoreless innings to open the series, the Dodgers put a 4-up in the 6th with Jock Peterson's 3-run home run, the key shot. And like Tommy Lasorda says, you just barely need to get it over the wall and...
or graze the top of the wall. Yeah. That home run was 395 feet. I don't need StatCast. Yeah, right there over Jock's head.
And Ro Das, our producer, just made a great point in my headset. He said Mike Trout probably catches that.
You are so right.
Maeda throwing some extra warm-up pitches here. We are waiting on an umpire.
We sure are. They're going to go for it anyway. They're going to play with 3 for right now.
The smiles would tell you that everything's okay, and there's probably a fun story behind it. Maybe a bathroom door got jammed up.
Probably got locked in.
So here we go in the 7th. Maeda now pitching with the lead, and his first one to Valbuena is a strike. Challenged him again, and it's 0-2.
Rockies climbed over the Giants, now 3-2 in the top of the 7th. With their lead, the Rock Show.
He offered, that's strike 3. In short order, Valbuena retired.
And that is that curveball that is not acting like a get-over curveball, but an actual put-away pitch. Looking a lot sharper and looking a lot more level coming out of Kenta's hand.
You mentioned the Giants-Rockies score. The Diamondbacks trail in the 8th inning against St. Louis 5-2. So the Dodgers with a chance if both scores hold to advance the lead back to 2.5 games. Fastball, strike 1 on Simmons. Pedro Baez. Stabs a bunt through it, and it's 0-2. Andrelton combines the names of his older brother, Andley, his mom, Myrella, and his dad, Elston. Andley, Myrella, and Elston put them together. Andrelton. One of a kind. Although Oral once was too, and now there are a few dogs named after you. And
oh, thanks. I only know of one child named Oral. It was from outside the country. I got a letter from Mexico one time that had a picture of a little boy, and the family said, "We named our son Oral after you." God bless that child. I didn't know what my name meant until I did a commercial with Martina Navratilova. We are sitting having a sandwich at lunch while shooting a commercial for a shoe company. And she says, "Oral, do you know what your name means?" And I'm like, "No, I've really never been told." And she goes, "It means eagle in Slavic." And I go,
no.
"Thank you, I needed that."
Heck with Bulldog Hershiser.
Yeah.
Eagle.
That was very nice of her. Yeah, there's a umlaut over the E. It's O-R-E-L with the umlaut over the E. And there's an actual city over there in Russia.
Back-to-back Ks to open this inning for Maeda. Now Ben Revere looking at ball 1. 0 for 2 tonight, 6 for his last 51. There's that curveball. 1 ball, 1 strike. There they keep on going. Little jam shot to short. Kike Hernandez. Kenta Maeda, 7 shutout innings. We stretch at Dodger Stadium with the Dodgers in front 4-0. Sportsnet LA is brought to you by Nissan. Choose Nissan today for great offers on our most exciting lineup ever. Shop ChooseNissan.com. And by Carl's Jr., the baby back rib burger, only at Carl's Jr. Houston Street came back from the disabled list last week in Boston and pitched his first game in 11 months. Missed the second half of last season because of a knee injury, and then injured his lat during spring training, and so was shelved for the first couple of months this year.
Only thrown 11 pitches this week. He's on 3 days rest. They're easing him back in. You're going to get the fastball and the slider. Fastball is only going to be about 90 miles an hour, but he's all about location and dotting that slider.
Thompson, couple of nice swings tonight. Lined out and flied out to the wall. Street starts him with a pitch outside. It's 1-0. Trace really felt like things started to click over the last couple of weeks in AAA. Always nice timing when you get that call while you're feeling at your best. Doesn't always work that way. Sometimes it's necessity based and you're the next guy up. May not be swinging at best, but this is the best he's felt all year. Brandon Morrow loosening after the 7 innings from Maeda. It's Mike Freeman on deck. 2-1.
Even when you're going bad in AAA or AA, wherever you get called up from, because you showed yourself really well in spring training, or you've had some hot streaks and you're the guy they want up there, sometimes a change of scenery gets you hot. It's that little big league adrenaline. Trace kind of shook his head at that call. That outside corner has been wide all night.
On 2-2. Street goes back there and Thompson chases. One gone. Brings up Freeman. Dave Roberts given an opportunity now in all 3 games that he's been on the major league roster. Once on Sunday, then again last night. Still looking for his first Dodger hit.
Outstanding night from Kenta Maeda. Coming off a relief appearance of 1 inning with 3 days rest, but before that the start against the Reds was 5 innings and 5 strikeouts and a walk in that one.
Freeman pops it up to left. Ben Revere. 2 up, 2 down. Well, he had a hard time finding it. You can no longer use the ball colored sky excuse.
Second baseman number 26, Chase Utley.
I got to go back to Kenta because the Dodgers have been looking for a starter that can at least go 7 other than Clayton Kershaw. It really gives a whole boost to the bullpen, to Dave Roberts. And with Brandon McCarthy on the DL, Kenta is pretty much going to get a regular turn for a little while. It seems like you have Clayton as a starter and then the rest of the staff, and I think Alex Wood falls into that for sure, going to be a starter right now. Clayton going to be on normal rest in his next start.
They adjusted the rotation to make that the case, moving Clayton Kershaw to Thursday, Alex Wood back to Friday. So this is back-to-back nights now. The Dodgers have had a starter not named Kershaw go 7 full. Maeda tonight after Rich Hill did it last night.
And Rich's interviews after his outing were exactly what we suspected, that he felt really good about finding the mechanics that he needs and the rhythm to repeat his pitches.
Sky high to left. Let's see if Revere can spot this one a little more cleanly. He does, and that's the inning. Dodgers down quietly against Street in the 7th, sending us in this Freeway Series game to the 8th.
backstage Dodgers, Cody Bellinger takes part in a wiffle ball game for the Dodgers Play Ball youth event. Plus, Andre Ethier is mic'd up in the Dodger dugout during the Dodgers-Mets series. Don't miss Backstage Dodgers, presented by Hankook Tires, Thursday after the post-game show on Sportsnet LA.
And much of that mic'd up segment will involve Andre Ethier ribbing Cody Bellinger, his favorite pastime.
Hazing.
No, you can't call it that.
Oh, you're not allowed.
No.
I'm sorry.
Not in this world. Brandon Morrow comes in, his 9th appearance, and yet to give up a run. How impressive has this guy been? Dodgers brought him up right before the contract gave him an out, where if he hadn't been called up by the beginning of June, he could have opted out. So they said, let's see what we have here, and it's been really impressive and has started to settle into a significant role for Dave Roberts. Martin Maldonado leads off the inning, chops one to third. Forsythe has it, long throw, gets him. Couple nice defensive plays on the left side of the infield, taking hits away from Maldonado tonight.
Not the easiest play, going away from first base. Now get your bearings, plant and fire. You got to really work on the trajectory of that throw and knowing how high you need to throw it to get it over there.
Morrow's first one to Cliff Pennington, a fastball at 95, which is for him like a changeup, strike one.
Highest average fastball now on the Dodgers on the mound, 97.4 miles an hour. Past Pedro Baez at 97.2.
Velocity that the Dodgers saw while he was pitching in San Diego late last year. The longest conversation ever continues. Pennington goes up to get it. And to the left, there is Chris Taylor for the second out.
Do we even flinch when the balls hit to Chris Taylor now in the outfield? It was such a adventure at the beginning. How's he going to be in left? Oh, he has to play center because it feels more like shortstop or second base coming off the bat. Well, it's been only moments that he's been out there in the outfield, and there's no worries at all.
Been there more than a month now. Jeffrey Marte called up for this series with all the left-handed pitching the Dodgers have, but go figure. His first appearance comes against a righty who has strike one, cutting at 92.
I'm not sure I would throw anywhere to a right-handed hitter other than away, the way that corner has been wide.
Line to right. Thompson caught it. He was playing deep, so had a long way to go. And the guy that he's filling in for appreciates the layout. And 8 zeros put on by Dodger pitching and Dodger defense as we look at our Carl's cam featuring some of the nice glove work.
It is really a lot easier to pitch at the big league level when you get this kind of big league stellar defense. No matter where they hit it, you got a chance to get in and out. Even when you make a mistake, there's people behind you everywhere that can cover for it. The athleticism of the modern big league player, where sabermetrics and all the data has said that defense has a huge value, is upgraded all the defenders. The guys that get an opportunity sometimes now get an opportunity to hit because they're so good on defense. It used to be the other way around.
2, 3, and 4 for the Dodgers in this inning. Logan Forsythe leading off against Blake Parker. Who's been as key as anyone in this very good Angels bullpen. Parker's given up just 1 run in his last 22 games. There's a lot going on in that set. Bang to second. Pennington.
Left fielder number 3, Chris Taylor.
1 gone for Chris Taylor. Seriously, take a watch when Blake Parker comes to a set position. There's a lot going on. And finally, set. Taylor turns it around on a line to center. Back goes Young. Leaps up and makes the catch. Adventurous night for him out there, huh?
And you see EY thank Cole Calhoun in right field, because when those balls are directly over your head as a center fielder, you're hoping for communication from your corner guys because they have a better read on how far back it is over your head or in. So you'll hear yelling, back, 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 or in.
Got to be tough with a packed pavilion out there.
Oh,
Hear other things yelled.
You got to scream if you're the corner guys. You can forget about it in the playoffs. Regular season, you can hear it.
1 ball and no strikes on Cody Bellinger. The Angels are yet to retire tonight. 2 walks and then the tie-breaking opposite field RBI single. Son of a former Angel. Technically. Foul tip, strike 1. Reason I say technically, Clay, his dad, had 1 at-bat with the Angels in 2002. Strikeout against the Rangers' Todd Von Poppel. But that qualified him to get a World Series ring. So he has 2 at the Yankees, and he has an 0-2 championship ring with the Angels. 2-1.
Kind of vultured that 1 ring.
Flied off the end of the bat. And right field Calhoun. They send us to the 9th. The Dodgers on the strength of that 4-run 6, 3 outs away from getting back to their winning ways. Sportsnet LA is brought to you by BMW. See a Southern California BMW Center today for exceptional offers or visit SoCalBMW.com. And by Baby Driver in theaters June 28th. Does your kid dream of hitting a grand slam? Then be at Dodger Stadium July 9th when the Dodgers host the Royals at 1:10. And the first 12,000 kids 14 and under receive a kid's replica Corey Seager bat from McDonald's. Visit Dodgers.com/promotions. That's Bob Guerin, the Dodger bench coach. And hey, Mrs. Guerin, May Guerin, Bob's mom, celebrating her 90th birthday today. Happy birthday, May.
And what a family they have in May. The matriarch. 4 kids, 10 grandchildren, 7 great-grandchildren, 7 great-great-grandchildren.
She got to meet Tommy Lasorda last year and was already a fan of his, but that obviously made her a bigger fan. Well, today, one of her 90th birthday gifts was a call from Tommy himself. Made her day, Bob said.
She's a huge Dodger fan, watches every game. We know she's watching and listening now. And on July 3rd, 100 family members are going to get together and celebrate her birthday in San Diego, where she lives.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, May. Orioles 2-1. Young foul tips at 2-2. We also want to wish a happy 41st birthday to Dodger third base coach Chris Woodward.
He doesn't look a day over 50.
Oh, come on. Morrow strikes out Young for the first out of the ninth. Tomorrow's probables brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. Hyun-Jin Ryu for the Dodgers against the rookie Alex Meyer. Came over from the Twins in the same deal that brought Ricky Nolasco. In fact, Nolasco is kind of a throw-in, a salary dump, so the Angels could acquire Alex Meyer. Bases empty, 1 gone, and here's Cole Calhoun. Tomorrow is also the next Pantone 294 outing. They'll be headed down to Angel Stadium. I say headed down, but headed to, coming from all directions for that one. Some of them, it's even in their own backyard. There are plenty of Dodger fans down in that area as well. Calhoun sends a high fly ball to center. Jock Peterson is there, and the Angels are down to their final out.
Jock holding his hand up like Yasiel's playing right field, but it's Trace Thompson. He's not going to be quite as aggressive. They smile about that. Ever since the collision with Yasiel and some other times that they've come close, Jock jokingly puts up his hand and says, "Stay back, I got it." Look, he's talking to him. At least Turner Ward's getting a break when he's paying attention to
somewhere
Jock.
Turner is hiding and smiling. Yunel Escobar. We put it all on Puig, but it's not like Turner is afraid of talking. You know, you got 2 guys there that are both talkers. They each deserve part of the blame for that conversation lasting 5 or 6 innings tonight. Escobar shoots a base hit to right to keep the line moving here in the 9th.
First baseman number 18, Luis.
We talked about May Guerin. Robert Sr., Bob Guerin's dad, went to Hoover High in San Diego with Ted Williams.
May went with the DiMaggio boys.
Yes.
Off of the hands to center. This will do it. And get a new streak, the Dodgers hope. Start it. They've won 17 of 19 now as they take this one 4-0.
salvaged the split, but the series continues down in Anaheim against these Angels, and the Dodgers are looking to beat up on them down there. But a great start from Kenta Maeda today that got him off on the right foot, kept them around at zeros against Chavez until the offense woke up, especially with Jock Peterson's home run.
And the Lexus player of the game, Kenta Maeda, how about his 7 shutout innings tonight?
Outstanding with the fastball. The slider was solid, but the surprise pitch tonight was the devastating curveball.
And so these teams will hop on the road, travel to 31.4 miles down to Angel Stadium for the final 2 games of this series. For Oral Hershiser, Alana Rizzo, and the rest of our crew, Joe Davis saying so long from Dodger Stadium, where the Dodgers answer the Angels' 4-0 win in the opener with a 4-0 win of their own. Now it's Access Sportsnet, brought to you by your Southern California Nissan dealers.